There is a strange kind of fear nobody talks about enough. Not the fear of loneliness, not the fear of failing, the fear of letting someone see the real you. But what does real even mean? What if you have been adjusting for so long that you don't know which part is real anymore? Nobody wakes up one day and decides to create a false identity. This idea sounds a little crazy, isn't it? But there is something in you that actually starts to form, but smaller. You may notice which parts of you get rewarded when you talk to other people. The joke that makes them laugh, the opinion that makes the group nod, the silence that keeps the room comfortable, the confidence that gets respected. So you adjust, just a little. You laugh at something that did not really feel funny. Maybe even use latest memes just to create a feeling that you know the internet trends. But you actually hate them because they're 99% silly. You pretend not to care about something that actually hurts. You act more relaxed than you are because everyone around you seems allergic to seriousness. You make your gym sound smaller because saying it honestly would make the room feel too exposed. So people like the adjusted version of you, and subconsciously, you notice it. You already know what kind of person a particular group accepts. With one friend, you became careless and funny. With another, you became wise and quiet. With family, you become the responsible one who never talk about real problems or needs. Online, you become ironic, because sincerity looks too vulnerable when people can comment on you and say whatever they think about you. None of these versions are completely fake. They come from you, but each one is edited, shaped for a different mood, situation, task. And after a while, your personality becomes less like a home and more like a set of keys. You enter a place, and some part of you asks, which version opens this door? The strange thing is that people may like you more because of it. They like how easy you are to keep around, how quickly you understood the mood, how rarely you make things uncomfortable. And after a while, you start confusing being loved with being convenient. You think, they love me, but somewhere deeper, another thought answers, do they? Or they love the absence of friction I provide? Because there is a difference between being accepted and being easy to accept. And sometimes, what you call closeness is just the reward you get for not making everyone deal with the person who has a different opinion. There are moments when you almost notice it. Someone asks what music you like, and for a second, you scan them before answering. Not because music matters that much, because your answer might reveal a version of you they did not expect. So you give the safer answer. You say that you like, for example, rap because everyone in your circle listens to it. Someone asks what you want to do with your life, and instead of saying the thing that still feels almost too private, you turn it into something smaller, more reasonable, more socially acceptable. You say, I don't know yet, but you do know. Or at least, there is something you want, a bigger version in your head, which is not feels like something that can exist in real world. You just don't think someone will actually get it. Someone talks bad about the type of person you secretly understand, and you say nothing. Because defending it would reveal that it's closer to you than they think, so you let the conversation pass. There is how the inner war starts closing, not all at once, piece by piece. You stop explaining why a small thing ruined your day because the last time you tried, someone made fun of it. You stop talking about the future you actually imagine because it sounds childish when say out loud. And people say, grow up, man, this thing can't make you rich or successful. Find a real job. You stop saying, that mattered to me. Because every time something matters, it can be misunderstood, and misunderstanding hurts more when it touches something real. So you keep the real things protected, and tend to make jokes of your life situations which actually make sense to you. Then something even stranger happens. You start performing even when nobody is there. You are alone in your room, and you still imagine some audience behind your every decision. What would they think if they saw this? Would this be embarrassing? Is this version of me impressive? You imagine explaining your hobbies before you even enjoy them. You think about how your life would look from the outside before asking whether it feels alive from the inside. And at some point, even solitude is not private anymore, because the people you adapted to start to affect your life even when you are alone. This is when the question becomes sharper. Who am I when nobody is choosing the version for me? Who am I before the adjustment? And the answer does not always come quickly. Usually there is just silence. It feels like emptiness. Because when you have spent years chasing what everyone else needed from you, your own desire starts speaking quietly, almost like it is asking permission. You can lose yourself without making one big mistake, but instead, you can lose yourself through 1,000 small approvals, 1,000 moments where you chose being understood quickly over being known slowly. 1,000 times you made yourself easier to digest. 1,000 times you betrayed a small truth because the conversation would have been smoother without it. You are not living a double life. You are living 10 slightly adjusted ones, and each one takes a little piece of you with it. People do not create masks because they love lying. They create them because at some point the mask kept something alive. An old friendship, relationships that don't feel sincere anymore, a sense of safety, a reason not to be rejected by society. The mask was not the enemy at first, it was protection. The problem is that protection can become a prison if you forget where the door is. And maybe the way back is still there. You say you actually like the thing you normally hide. You admit you do not understand something instead of pretending. You tell someone a thought before it has been edited into something impressive. You stop laughing at jokes that considered to be funny by the internet. And slowly, you start collecting evidence that your life doesn't get worse when the real you appears. The real you is not one perfect hidden person waiting underneath everything. It's not some pure, untouched version you have to discover in one beautiful moment. The real you is what remains when you stop choosing only the safest answer. A weakness you stop decorating, a big dream you stop shrinking, a silence you do not rush to feel. The person you become when you're not constantly negotiating your right to be there. You do not find yourself all at once. You return through small acts of not betraying yourself. Maybe that is what being real actually means. Not finally finding one clear identity that explains everything, but no longer having to keep inventing personalities to stand between you and other people. No more becoming acceptable at the cost of becoming a stranger to yourself. Because maybe the saddest thing is not being misunderstood by others. Maybe the saddest thing is spending your whole life being understandable to everyone except yourself.